First reading, Senate File Number 4233, an act relating to state government, appropriating money for veterans and military affairs. Pursuant to Article 4, Section 19 of the Constitution of the State of Minnesota, Eklund moved that the rule therein be suspended and an urgency be declared, and that the rules of the House be so far suspended so that Senate File Number 4233 be given its second and third readings and be placed upon its final passage.
To the author of the motion, Representative Eklund.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That is my motion. Senate File 4233 passed unanimously off the Senate floor yesterday, and I ask for your members' support.
Discussion. Representative
Are we okay on that? Okay.
Heinrich?
Yep.
Representative Heinrich.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, when I was a young child, I'm sorry. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my grandpa, but I'm going to do that in a little while.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Discussion to the motion. Representative Nash.
Members, I would encourage a green vote on suspension.
Further discussion. All those in favor of the motion to suspend the rules say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The motion prevails. To the author of the bill, Representative Eklund.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Eklund, 1 second. We got to give the bill its second reading.
Second reading, Senate File Number 4233.
Second reading. Representative Eklund, back to you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. We can't get ahead of ourselves here anyway. So, Mr. Speaker, members, this bill is a result of dedication and bicameral, bipartisan compromise. Senate File 4233, as passed and amended by the other body yesterday, represents that our system can work for our veterans and for the state of Minnesota. While this compromise legislation does not include some provisions and appropriations that could have made it a great bill, members, this is a good bill, and I'm proud of it and proud to support it. This bill makes numerous investments in our housing for our veterans through finishing last year's agreement to build the veterans' homes in Bemidji, Montevideo, and Preston, communities that previously did not have these homes. We're also making significant investments that seek to end veterans' homelessness in the state of Minnesota. While our investments in this bill is not as large as they were in the bill that we passed off the House floor, we are investing over $6.5 million to end veterans' homelessness. We provide temporary supportive housing to deal with the influx of veterans experiencing homelessness and move them to permanent housing options across the state. Building permanent housing so that the veterans experiencing homelessness now and in the future have a place to go where their needs can be met. And we are coordinating landlord and tenancy support services to keep veterans at risk for homelessness in their housing options. Through this compromise, members and Mr. Speaker, we are funding the vast majority of the requests from the Minnesota Department of Military Affairs and Department of Veterans Affairs. Investments in veterans across programs in the state of Minnesota. We provide bonus pay for veterans who have participated in America's post 9/11 wars with $25 million in bonus payments, $600 for vets of Iraq and Afghanistan, and $2,000 for gold-starred families. And this is limited, members, to the veterans who had Minnesota on their discharge paperwork and who currently live in Minnesota. We're providing funding for enlistment and re-enlistment bonuses for our National Guard to ensure that the Guard stays active and ready for service. We increase county veteran service officer grants and increase grants to veteran service organizations to support the activities that they provide. We deliver a grant to the Big Marine Veterans Campground to upgrade their wastewater system. We fund ongoing operating expenses for the new Redwood Falls State Veterans Cemetery. We provide funding for the Fisher House near the Fargo VA Medical Center that will serve Minnesota veterans and their families as they receive care. And finally, members, we deliver a grant to the Minnesota Navy League for activities around the commissioning of the USS Minneapolis-St. Paul. This is a good bill, members, and I look forward to the discussion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
There are no amendments at the desk. The clerk will give the bill its third reading.
Third reading, Senate File Number 4233.
Third reading. Discussion to the bill. I recognize the member from Anoka, Representative Heinrich.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And thank you, Representative Eklund. I did get a little ahead of myself there, but I was excited to speak about your bill. When I was a young kid, I remember vividly my grandpa showing me his Navy uniforms and talking about his service as a engineer on a submarine. And he really, I think, instilled in me a desire to serve others because I saw him set that example. Members, I'm very pleased that this is coming back to the floor as a standalone bill today. I served in the Marine Corps from '99 to 2007, including 2 tours in Iraq, 10 months each in theater, so 20 months in theater in Iraq. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to serve this great country. Grateful for the relationships that I made during that time with the men and women that I served with. And I'm grateful for everybody that's currently serving and our veterans here in Minnesota and our country. With that, I want to thank also Representative Detmer. He's been a mentor to me. I wasn't a part of the House of Representatives while you were the chair of the Veterans Committee. We've had a great chair in Representative Eklund. But I want to thank you for your leadership over the years before I was here. And thank you so much for your work on this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I recognize the member from Hennepin, Representative Greenman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, members. I echo that. I think that this bill reflects the great work of the House Committee and the leadership of the committee and our chair, Chair Eklund, in bringing back a bill that has most of the House provisions and the support that our veterans deserve. You know, a few weeks ago, the rotunda was filled with veterans rallying in support of many of these provisions and investments and asking for an omnibus veterans bill. And I am proud that we're bringing them back, these provisions and investments in that bill. I want to just talk quickly about 2 provisions that I'm most proud of. One is the enlistment incentives that I carried for our National Guard members. I think we all know how important the National Guard has been in our communities, and they have seen an unprecedented uptake in needs, stepping in to serve our communities in nursing homes, in communities responding to unrest, and in federal service. And this is a tool that the agency can use and that the Army can use in order to encourage the retention and the experience of our experienced soldiers. The other thing I want to talk about, and I'm really proud of, is the investments we're making in completing these veterans' homes. You might ask, as a member from Minneapolis, I'm rising really to talk about the homes in Bemidji, Montevideo, and Preston. But I know the VA hospitals in my district, the Minneapolis Veterans Home is about to be in my district, and I know that these are not just regional investments; these are statewide investments and commitments that we as Minnesotans are making to those folks who serve. Many of us had an opportunity to go down to Hastings a few weeks ago with Representative Juergens, and Commissioner Herkey invited us to tour that facility and talk about the ways that that facility and others need to be upgraded to ensure that our veterans have the care and the comfort that they need in the communities. And so I'm grateful that we're doing these in Bemidji, Montevideo, and Preston. I look forward to the work to doing that in Hastings and in Minneapolis and others. So with that, I will just say this is a great bill. I'm proud to support it. I'm proud and hope that we are all in support of this. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The member from Anoka, Representative Raleigh.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also am a veteran, served from 1984 to early 1990s. I will not be eligible for this. I didn't serve during this period, but I did serve during the first Gulf War. And one of the things that happened that was a lesson that we learned from Vietnam is after many of us had completed our services to our country, being deployed overseas, we were brought to rest camps and we were brought into counseling, and we got an opportunity to share our experiences and have this decompression time. And I found it to be incredibly helpful. what I'm noticing that Minnesota is doing is it's renewing its commitment to those it served. You know, in this bill, we've got the Veterans Rest Camp, we've got the domiciliary services that are going on with being able to take our veterans and give them the care that they need. Again, you know, thank you to both sides of the aisle, and especially to Chair Eklund. You know, you and I have had some great conversations about this. Specifically, we need to take care of our veterans that are going to be experiencing homelessness. Chair Eklund shared with me that his heart was in fixing the veterans' homeless issues, and I'm going to renew that commitment as well. We need to make sure that our veterans are taken care of. This is a fantastic bill, and more importantly, this is an omnibus bill that is single subject, and it falls within what I think this type of a bill should do. I will gladly support this, and I would encourage all the members of this body, as you're listening to our veterans and as you listen to Representative Detmer, you know, we were on the ground. We experienced what this bill will do for our veterans. This is a good bill. So thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wholeheartedly support this.
The representative from Washington, Representative Jurgens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Chair, for bringing this bill forward. There's a lot of us that wanted the opportunity to be able to vote for this bill as a standalone, so I appreciate you bringing that forward, and Representative Greenman for mentioning the Hastings Veterans Home. I'm glad that this bill is taking care of the veterans for the 3 new homes in Bemidji, Montevideo, and Preston, and I look forward to perhaps before the session ends, that we also can take care of the veterans that Representative Greenman mentioned in the Hastings Veterans Home. There's a request by the governor and the Minnesota Department of Veterans Affairs to replace the veterans home, the aging veterans home in Hastings, with a brand new state-of-the-art facility. And I think that it's a lot of money, but I think that the veterans deserve better than what we were able to provide for them in that Hastings Veterans Home. And I thank those of you that came to the tour a couple of weeks ago in Hastings. I'm looking forward to supporting the bill today, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The representative from Dakota, Representative Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to start out by saying thank you to those who have served right here in this chamber. It's much appreciated, and it's not acknowledged often enough. I'm really passionate about veterans issues. We all have stories of family members or people in our community that we know that were affected by the things that our vets experience. So I'm so grateful to have a chair that is so committed and relentless in what we can do to help our veterans. Thank you, Chair Eklund. Vets protect our right to do what we're doing right now, or what we do at just about any given time. They have defended the way that many of us live. It's our turn to help them live. I am proud that my bill, HF 4337, is in this omnibus bill. Veterans issues is one of the things that brings us together from both sides of the aisle. And it's one thing that I share with Representative Jurgens, Bliss, Raleigh, Detmer. We all have a deep respect for the work that we do. And so we know that housing is critical to everything that any one of us do to build a life, to be safe, to have an address to provide for employment opportunities, to have a sanctuary from life's challenges, especially as part of the healing process for our vets who suffer from a collection of trauma. So what this part of the bill does is it gives incentives to landlords to provide housing for vets. It helps, it gives incentive payments to the landlords to cover should a vet default on their rent. And it's something that I think sort of plays into the equity of the housing field. So members, please vote for this bill. It's a great bill. And thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I recognize the member from Carver, Representative Nash.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've served on the State Government Finance Committee since I got here 8 years ago, and we have always melded the Veterans Bill in with the State Government Finance Bill, and that's always kind of annoyed me because if ever there's a case to be made for a bill completely going on its own, it's this. So I'm grateful for the efforts that have been expended by a lot of us to get this thing pulled out. And yes, it pains me to say, thanks to the Senate. But thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm grateful that we were able to do that because there are a lot of good things in here. I'm about to have a kid who is a veteran. He's going to be coming out of the Navy here in about 6-7 months. Going to go off to college and then go back in as an officer. But we need to take care of our veterans. And this does a great job at that. So also very grateful for the spending for LCS 21. That, again, I've asked all of you to respond to that. Go to the event. It's going to blow your mind. It is an unbelievable thing that is being done to name a combat vessel of the American Navy after our 2 largest cities here in the state. It's going to be something that all of you will want to go to. And so I'm very grateful, but mostly grateful that we were able to allow this to go solo. Representative Detmer, you got your wish. Thank you.
To the member from Hennepin, Representative Bonner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I rise today first to say thank you to all of the veterans within the reach of my voice today for your incredible service. I can tell you that I have been delighted to be the granddaughter and great-granddaughter of veterans, and of course my son, who just came out of the Marines and is working on his master's. So I am really grateful for that, and I want to thank Chair Eklund for this bill in particular, mostly because he went above and beyond. And what I hear from the veterans, including in the local American Legion that I just came from last night, I hear them saying that they want this bill to be a standalone bill. They want us to acknowledge the value and the contributions of our veterans. They wanted to hear us talk about things like the 9/11 bonus pay for veterans that they are so excited about. They are really excited about suicide prevention and making sure that no more of their brethren fall by the wayside when it comes to PTSD or depression or any of the like. They also are really excited about the veterans' homes. And when they talk about those veterans' homes and getting to the final stages, they are so excited about the opening of these facilities and the ability to help our veterans who have maybe fallen by the wayside. They are just so excited and thrilled to have the legislature on their side. So I want to thank all of us. I want to thank especially Henry and to our commander at the Legion Post 172 for their commitment and their continued support of these measures. Thank you, members, and I appreciate a green vote.
I recognize the member from Washington, Representative Detmer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Chair Eklund, we did it. We've got a standalone Veterans Omnibus Bill to come to the House floor and the Senate floor for the first time, I think, in the history of our institution here. I know I've been working on this mission. I call it Mission First, to get this to the House floor as a standalone bill. And 16 years I've been working on it. And together we've been able to get people to look and give a priority to our veterans and brings a bill to the House floor, just a single issue, to serve our veterans population here in Minnesota. I hope this sets a precedence now for years to come. Whoever's in charge of this body, keep in mind what we just did this year. Because every year there's going to be some issues that we have to cover for our veterans and those currently serving in the military. And I'm sure that Military Affairs and Veterans Affairs are listening in today. I'm sure they are giving each other high fives that we finally, as a body, came through with a standalone bill for veterans. And it's really ironic, though. I'm going to have to keep my name off the board. Why? Because I qualify for the bonuses. And I'm one of those veterans that served after 9/11, which included 25 years of my service. And but I just feel it's more appropriate me now to be in that I qualify for that bonus. You still have to apply for the bonus. It could range from $600, $1,200, and but I will be keeping my name off the board. So I just want everybody to understand that. But I think we'll have enough votes to pass it. So, Mr. Speaker, and you're sitting in a position right now that's, make sure you put this on your calendar. This is a date that will live on. I hope it lives on here in the House of Representatives. So, members and Speaker, thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative Detmer. To the author of the bill, Representative Eklund.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. This indeed is a precedent-setting day, and I echo Representative Detmer's words that I hope that stays that way, because the Veterans Bill should never be part of the political ping-pong that sometimes happens when you have to put that into some other omnibus bill. A couple thanks before we go. Speaker Hartman, thank you for entrusting me with as chair of this committee. Without your support, we could have never got this far, so I appreciate it. Nick Stumo-Longer, thanks. Dave Sullivan, a researcher, and John Hultquist, a researcher from the GOP side. Our committees won't work without those folks, because the little orange and little yellow sheets coming out always tell us what we really need to know. And then, of course, Jeff Diebel and Helen Roberts, fiscal staff and nonpartisan staff. Our staff in these things truly do not get enough credit for what they do to make sure this operation runs. I'm disappointed that we couldn't get the suicide funding into the bill, but I'll make the pledge to the veterans out there and the groups that work in these suicide funding programs that will be part of next year's Veterans Bill, one way or another, because it's important that we take care of that vital aspect of our veterans' lives and society. Members, Mr. Speaker, this compromise language is a result of two chairs from different political parties that decided to say, heck with politics, let's throw that away and let's sit down and get this done. So, Senator Lang, thank you for the work and your staff that you worked to do this. It's been about 10 days, but we did get it done. So, members, this is a good bill. I ask for your support.
There being no further discussion, the clerk will take the roll. Members, please vote. Will the clerk please call the names of the members who have not voted yet?
Davids.
Davids votes aye.
Davids, aye. Drazkowski.
Drazkowski, aye.
Drazkowski, aye. Franzen.
Franzen, aye.
Franzen, aye. Hamilton.
Hamilton, aye.
Hamilton, aye. Hausman.
Hausman, aye.
Hausman, aye. Hollins.
Hollins, aye.
Hollins, aye. Keel.
Keel, aye.
Keel, aye. Kosnick.
Kosnick, aye.
Kosnick, aye. Moran.
Moran, aye.
Moran, aye. Nelson, N.
Nelson, aye.
Nelson, N, aye. Petersburg.
Petersburg, aye.
Petersburg, aye. Sandsted.
Sandsted, aye.
Sandsted, aye. Swazinski.
Swazinski, aye.
Swazinski, aye. Thompson. Thompson. Zhang Ti.
Zhang Ti, aye.
Zhang Ti, aye.
The clerk will close.
Christensen, aye.
Want me to say Christensen votes aye.
The clerk will close the roll.
I know.
There being 121 ayes and 1 nay, the bill is passed and its title agreed to.